Imagine you wake up in the morning, and there's a strange restlessness in your mind. Without any clear reason, your heart starts to beat fast, your palms get clammy, and even the smallest things bother you. You ask yourself, why is all this happening? But you find no answer. This is the moment when we can truly understand the meaning of anxiety in our lives. A Zen master once said, "Sometimes, peace comes when you sit amidst fear and restlessness and feel it completely." Today, we will learn how this very anxiety can become our greatest teacher, how it awakens the hidden wisdom and self-realization within us. This is a journey where we will pass through the darkness of fear, stress, and uncertainty, and ultimately reach inner clarity, acceptance, and strength. Are you ready to turn your restlessness into your teacher? If so, let's begin the Zen Master's lesson. Once upon a time, in a small village in Japan, lived a famous Zen master. People from far and wide would come to seek his advice, bringing any difficulty, sorrow, or restlessness to him. One day, a young man came to the village. He was about 28 years old, but his face was always filled with worry and anxiety. He looked tired and his shoulders were hunched as if carrying an invisible weight. As soon as he sat down with the Zen master, he said, "Master, I am exhausted. My mind is always restless. I can't sleep, I can't concentrate on my work, and it feels like everything is against me.
I don't know what to do.
Can you help me?" The Zen master looked at him with a deep gaze, smiled, and said, "Of course. But first tell me, are you ready to feel your restlessness yourself, or do you want to suppress it?" The young man immediately replied, "I want to suppress it. I just want peace. This worry is nothing but a problem for me." The Zen master was silent for a while, his eyes closed in contemplation. Then he softly said, "If you suppress your worry, it will always hide behind you and trouble you in different ways. It will surface as anger, distraction, or fatigue. But if you try to understand it, it can become your greatest teacher." The young man did not understand this. He asked, "Master, how can worry be a teacher? It throws my life into darkness and fear." The Zen master smiled again and said, "Come, I will take you to the river. There you will understand everything." The Zen master and the young man walked to the bank of a small river outside the village. The river was calm, but here and there small currents swirled around rocks and slight swells moved across the surface. The master said, "Look at this river. When it is calm, everything seems smooth and stable. But when a stone or a branch falls into the water doesn't stop. It finds its way around the obstacle. You are like this river. Your restlessness and worry are like those stones. They may seem to stop you, but if you understand them and flow with them, they can show you new paths in life." The young man stood silently, watching the river water. He slowly realized that although the stone created a ripple in the water, the river itself was still moving forward on its path. The Zen master continued, "Your worry is also like this. Don't try to stop it or fight it. Feel it completely. Embrace the fear that comes with it. Only when you learn to flow with fear will you discover the hidden depth and strength of your life." For the first time, the young man felt that he did not need to fight his restlessness. His anxiety was not an enemy. It was just a message that something needed to change. Lessons from anxiety. Worry as a signal. The Zen master told the young man, "Look, worry is a signal from your body and mind. It tells you that there is an imbalance somewhere. This could be an imbalance in your work life, a neglected relationship, a lack of purpose, or even a need for physical rest. Instead of seeing it as a problem, view it as an early warning system. Don't try to suppress it or judge it. Just watch it, without adding your own story to it. Simply acknowledge its presence." The young man asked, "Master, but if I feel it, won't it bother me more?" The Zen master replied, "It will seem so at first. But remember, whatever emotion you feel is the voice of your inner wisdom. Listen to it, face it. By doing so, you are not giving it power. You are taking your power back. Gradually, your restlessness will transform into wisdom. The Zen master asked the young man to close his eyes and slowly focus on the flow of the river, the sound of the wind, and the beat of his heart. The young man did so, and felt as if his fear and restlessness were slowly flowing out of his body and mind. It was difficult, but he completely immersed himself in the experience. Emotional awareness. The Zen master explained, "Worry is not just a feeling. It is an index of your life. Whenever you feel restless, it means you need to pay attention to something in your life. It is your consciousness calling you to action. When you learn to listen to it, it can guide you toward growth and clarity. Let it flow with you. Facing it will increase your wisdom." The young man asked, "But Master, how do I know if this is wisdom or just fear?" The Zen master laughed and said, "If you suppress it, it will be fear. But if you feel and understand it, it will become wisdom. This is the greatest art of Zen, to see, to feel, and to understand." The young man silently watched the river's waves and stones for a while. He slowly realized that when he allowed the restlessness to flow without resistance, a strange peace and clarity began to emerge within him. The turmoil was still there, but it no longer controlled him. But acceptance and compassion. The Zen master said, "Be kind and compassionate towards your restlessness. Don't be hard on yourself for feeling this way. Don't see anxiety as a part of you that is against you. Think of it as an inner child who is scared and insecure. Just as you would comfort a frightened child, you must comfort this part of yourself. Tell it that it's okay to feel this way, and that you are there to protect and understand it. When you understand and love this part of yourself, it will become your greatest teacher." For the first time, the young man felt compassion for his fear and restlessness. He saw them not as enemies to be defeated, but as messengers to be understood. Living in the flow. The Zen master took some river water in his hand and poured it into the young man's hand, saying, "Just as this water is flowing from your hand, let your emotions flow. Don't try to stop them. This is the art of living in the flow. Life's troubles also flow like this. Don't stop them. Learn to flow with them." The young man felt this, and accepted his fear and restlessness like the river. He understood that living in the flow doesn't mean being passive. It means taking action while acknowledging your fear, instead of letting it paralyze you. Now he felt a new courage and understanding emerging within him. The Zen master looked at him, smiled, and said, "Remember, every worry, every restlessness, every fear is a sign of the deepest wisdom within you. Don't treat it as an enemy. Treat it as a teacher. Understand it, let it flow, and learn from it. This is the greatest art of life." The young man said to himself, "Now I am not afraid. I will face my restlessness, understand it, and learn from it." After that day, the young man's life changed. He no longer suppressed his restlessness and fear, but understood them and made them his life's guide. This story teaches us that anxiety is not our enemy. It is our greatest teacher. The anatomy of anxiety. Have you ever felt your heart suddenly start beating fast? Your hands and feet go cold, or felt like you are facing a great danger, when in reality there is no danger at all? This is the moment we commonly call worry or anxiety. But anxiety is not just a feeling of fear or insecurity. It is a way for your body and mind to alert you. This anxiety tells you that something needs your attention, something you need to understand and handle. Often we consider it a negative experience, try to suppress it, deny it, or tell ourselves that we shouldn't worry. But the reality is that anxiety is neither good nor completely bad. It is just a message, a warning, a signal. And if we listen to it carefully, it can show us paths for improvement and growth in our lives. In our body, anxiety isn't born just in our mind. It's felt throughout our entire physical system. It changes our heart rate, our breathing patterns, and our energy levels, preparing us to respond to a perceived threat. But if we look at it from the right perspective, it can become a guide for us. telling us about our weaknesses and our needs. The main objective is to understand that anxiety is not just fear, but an important part of our life that shows us the way to reach our true potential. The roots of restlessness. Have you ever wondered why our anxiety suddenly appears without any clear reason, sometimes feeling like it is taking over our entire life? The root of our anxiety is not just a result of current circumstances. Its roots are often very deep, sometimes hidden in our childhood experiences, our inner habits, or born from societal expectations and pressures. A child who was always told they were not good enough may grow into an adult with a constant feeling of inadequacy and anxiety. This suppressed pain sometimes takes the form of our anxiety when we grow up. Besides this, many of us are always trying to make ourselves perfect, and when we constantly put pressure on ourselves, our mind gets tired, and anxiety enters our lives. Societal expectations also deepen the roots of anxiety, creating restlessness and fear within us because we are always thinking that we are not doing it right, or that we are falling behind. The biggest lesson is that when we recognize the roots of our anxiety, we gain control over ourselves. We understand that our anxiety is not our enemy, but a teacher that tells us what things need to be changed or understood. Transforming fear into wisdom. It's been taught that our anxiety is not just a feeling. It is a message for our life, a signal that there is something within us or in our life that needs attention. If we see our anxiety not as an enemy, but as a teacher or a guide, we can understand many hidden truths in our lives. Listening to anxiety means feeling it without judgment. Imagine that your anxiety is a messenger telling you what you need to pay attention to. Some techniques to make this process easier include deep breathing, noticing the turmoil in your mind, and asking yourself what the anxiety is trying to tell you. Journaling and self-reflection are also very important. Writing down your feelings and thoughts helps you understand which patterns and circumstances your anxiety is connected to. The most important thing is that every anxiety, no matter how small or big it may seem, has come to teach you something. We can learn to transform our anxiety, our fear, and our restlessness into action and opportunity. Anxiety tells us which areas are challenging for us, and this challenge gives us a chance to grow. In this process of transformation, mindfulness plays a very important role. When we live in the present moment, we can avoid getting trapped in the cycle of our fear and anxiety. Deep breathing, feeling the environment around you, and noticing your thoughts without judgment all help us stay grounded. Small practices of self-compassion and courage teach us that we can move forward even while recognizing our fear. The power of compassion. Have you ever noticed that whenever we feel worried or scared, our biggest battle is with ourselves? Our inner voice, which we call internal dialogue, often blames and criticizes us. But if we understand this internal dialogue and learn to change it, our fear and anxiety can be greatly reduced. Self-compassion, or feeling kindness for oneself, is completely different from self-criticism. With self-compassion, we tell ourselves, I am human. Making mistakes is part of my nature, and I can give myself a chance to improve. The reality is that kindness and understanding are the biggest cures for fear and anxiety. The biggest lesson is that compassion is the cure for fear. Our anxiety often comes into our lives in the same way, again and again. This is our habitual pattern. When we understand that our anxiety is a natural way of our mind, not our true identity, we can change it into new, positive, and empowering patterns. The beginning of this change starts with small steps, like identifying which patterns promote our anxiety, and then deliberately developing new practices and habits. Visualization and affirmations are very helpful in this process. Take small, actionable steps, like using a breathing technique or noting your emotions, to gradually teach your mind new patterns. The most important thing is that you are not your anxiety. Your anxious mind is not your enemy, but just a part that you can learn to retrain. The message is clear. The power to change fear and anxiety is in your hands, embracing your purpose. Anxiety and restlessness not only bring fear, but sometimes also guide us towards our true identity and purpose. Anxiety is a signal that you are straying from your true path, or that some important change is needed. This is the power that connects anxiety with our creativity and purpose. When we learn to listen to our restlessness, we understand that our anxiety is showing us which things are right for us and which are not giving us real happiness. We can learn to ask ourselves, what has this fear come to teach me? Or is this connecting me to my real purpose? The biggest lesson is that our anxiety is not a force that pulls us back, but a guiding force that shows us the right direction. Tools for daily living. Anxiety also affects our daily lives, from relationships to work decisions to sleep. But if we adopt small, simple, and effective measures in our daily lives, our anxiety cannot overwhelm us. Daily tools like correct breathing techniques, grounding exercises, and mindful routines can help us stay calm and focused. Breathing techniques are very powerful for mental peace. Whenever you feel stressed, take deep and slow breaths to activate your nervous system's relaxation response. Grounding exercises, like feeling your feet on the ground or observing your surroundings, bring you into the present moment and pull you out of the cycle of overthinking. Mindful routines, like starting the day with a calm practice, help maintain mental balance. The most important lesson is that transformation does not happen by magic, but by our continuous small and regular efforts. When you adopt these practices, your anxiety gradually turns into your strength. The ultimate teacher. Our anxiety can become our strength in real life. There are many examples of people who, by understanding their anxiety, were able to turn it into their strength and empowerment. One person used their fear to give a new direction to their career, making the impossible possible with small steps. Another listened to the conflict in their relationships and discovered inner understanding, becoming more balanced and loving. These examples show that anxiety is not just fear or weakness, but it indicates our inner wisdom and strength. You can use simple reflection prompts by asking yourself, what has this fear come to teach me? Or what change can I bring in my life by learning from this restlessness? The biggest lesson is that you can turn your anxiety into your strength. You just need to learn to understand it, listen to it, and use it in the right direction. The message is clear. Anxiety is not your enemy. It is your teacher. When you embrace it, learn from it, and apply it in your life, your anxiety transforms into your wisdom, your strength, and your self-confidence. Your anxiety does not make you weak. Rather, it leads you towards your real strength and wisdom. Our anxiety, fear, and stress are all trying to tell us something. They are not just to stop us, but to teach us. If we try to understand it, observe it, and connect with our own experiences, then anxiety can teach us who we are and what we want, what our limits and needs are, and how we can make the right changes in our lives. Simple but powerful techniques like mindfulness, self-compassion, and emotional awareness can help us use our anxiety like a guide. Remember, anxiety is not a weakness. It is a sign that you are in search of deep connection and meaning. See it not as an enemy, but as a teacher. So next time anxiety comes, instead of fighting it, understand it, observe it, and learn from it. This is the way to make your life more empowered, peaceful, and meaningful.